Not in the camera's view.
Somebody says, "Why does Josh have Netflix on in the background?" I know what you said. Because he listens to Netflix. No, actually, my wife is in the room, and
I'll be right back, guys.
yeah, Josh is back. I can hear Josh now. Yay!
Oh, Brandon has to go take a whiz. Was that what he said?
Yo.
He's got to go drain the tank.
He's got to see a man about a dragon.
See oh, Josh, I'm gonna ruin you.
I don't know that there's not much left to ruin. I don't think.
No, I tell you what, man, you've been through hell and back, so I apologize for all that.
Well, it's not your fault, but I thank you for the sympathy. I appreciate it.
No, you can blame me. It's all right. Like, I probably did something like 20 years ago, like the butterfly effect.
Damn it, Jerry, you gave my wife cancer.
I did somehow. I really apologize for that.
You know, I haven't even told people on the show that that's a thing in my life. So that's
really,
yeah,
dude. Not only is it a thing in your life, it's like you fought and won, and now you're fighting again. It's like you got to be pretty frustrated.
Yes, indeed.
But you got a stubborn ass wife, so you'll be all right.
That's right. That's right. Well, she's still with me. That's true love right there.
You look like Tony Stark. If that isn't a reason to live.
Yeah, man.
I'm not gay or nothing, but if I was, I'm just saying that'd be my reason to live.
Well, and I'm a pretty nice guy too, so you know that helps.
Yeah, helps. And the looks. You got the looks, and you're not a jerk like Tony.
Fantastico. Well,
I love the chat. They're like, "Is that Tony Stark?"
I know. I love.
They're like, "Yeah, I think so."
Every single time I've done a video for Metal Jesus or on his channel, I can't even tell you how many people put it in there. It's like,
dude, why don't you create a Twitch channel just called like Iron Man or Real Iron Man or something and just literally lead people on for hours?
That would be awesome. Get a nice suit and
do a green screen and have like Stark Enterprises like superimposed in the background, dude. It would be epic.
I thought about doing that here too. For those of you who are watching the stream, if you're seeing or hearing stuff going on in the background, we've just got somebody visiting, so don't worry about it.
Are you gonna come say hi, or is he just gonna be a jerk and keep walking by?
Oh, he will probably want to fade into the background as much as he can. He doesn't.
Oh, is he a little
wanting to be on? You want to be on the webcam, Ben? Do you want to come say hi?
Someone want to say hi.
Here's the camera.
Someone want to say hi. Sup, bro? Hey, how's it going? Nice. See, now we got 4 people on the show.
There we go. Now we have 4.
Dude, we have 55 live viewers right now. Everybody. Hey, go tweet out the stream, okay? I'm not going to be a part of no stream that's less than 250, okay?
There you go. Are you talking to me or...
No, to the general population of the channel.
There you go.
I'm being a diva. I'm saying go out and get us 250 live streams. Come on, guys. But lie. Say that this is like a nude stream or something.
There you go. And I'll try to make sure that you only get the green M&Ms in your...
No, I like the brown ones.
They look like rabbit turds.
So how long have you guys been doing this gig?
This is episode 9.
Episode 9.
Wow, yeah. I'm in the single digits just by a hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we decided that do we go into the whole thing? So, first of all, let's just do a proper welcome. Everybody who's watching the stream, and if you're listening to the podcast, welcome to the show. This is Uberview. I'm the Big JB, Josh. We've got Brandon, Umphy with us, and, of course,
howdy,
the amazing Barnacules, Jerry. Thank you so much for being on the show, dude. It's so great to have you part of this.
He's really why they're here.
It's only you look like Tony. That's the only reason. I'll lie and say that I did an interview with you.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, so Brandon and I this is our 9th episode, which is pretty awesome. We met actually through Overwatch. We don't know each other in real life. So that's...
Not yet.
Yeah, we haven't met in real life yet. If I can get into BlizzCon, that'll be something. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll get to meet face to face. So that's how long we've known each other, and just I don't know, there was something that we just clicked. We're like, hey, you know what? Let's do a podcast, and I've realized that life is short to put off your dreams, so let's do it. I've always wanted to do one, so
heck yeah,
that's how we know each other.
Get on you.
And I'm gonna shut my window real quick.
Yeah, sure.
You do that. You shut it real good, Brandon. Shut it.
Somebody's reliving a dream about you, Jerry. Life is too short, remember? Live your dreams.
Do it is. Yeah, don't let your dreams be dreams.
Well, and I'm going to talk while Brandon's away. We love Overwatch. It's, really fun. There's no secret that we really like. We really like Blizzard games, and Overwatch in particular has just dominated most of our game time until Legion came out and Brandon left me.
Yeah, but now I'm kind of back, man. Like
Dude,
today, I probably lost like 4 games in a row. So
When we're talking, Jerry, you're disappearing. So
what's that?
when we're talking, you're disappearing because I saw you try to talk just a second ago when Brandon was talking, and I didn't hear you at all.
What, do you guys got like a cut on me or something?
That's
I don't think so.
I don't
Probably
think
a
so.
wise thing. If that's a feature, I'd enable it. Especially
We just keep talking. Don't let Jerry get in a word.
no, I was just saying, WoW sucks, dude. Like Blizzard, like you said, you love Blizzard and love Blizzard games. I was like, WoW sucks because it like almost ruined my life. So
You guys like this halo that I've got going on behind me here?
Yeah,
This
man,
is-
it's great.
this
it's
is-
like built in J.J. Abrams' camera filter.
Yeah, yeah. One's
Hey, you know what you need to do? Sit up in your chair a little and then just slowly slouch down. It's like, oh.
No, that wasn't slowly. That was. Hello.
Yeah, no, Overwatch is a solid game. The thing is, though, I don't believe Blizzard made it. It does not feel like a Blizzard game to me at all.
Really?
It does not. It literally feels like they hired the Call of Duty guys, but then got the Team Fortress guys to like actually do the game, and you ended up with like just a winner all around. Because the thing I like about Overwatch is I can't stand FPSs that basically make you like you die and you have to wait until the round's over to play again.
Yes.
yeah.
That drives me absolutely nuts. I can't stand it, and I literally start cutting myself.
Are there still ones that do that?
Counter-Strike is the
Yeah.
Counter-Strike is huge right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
Counter-Strike, CSGO is like massive. Like there's actually gambling sites for CSGO. That's how.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so if you die in that, then you have to wait until you
Yeah.
come back.
Well, it's almost like a game of chess. It's more like it's slow paced. So there you have attacking team, and then you have a defending team, or a bomb team and a diffuser team, basically.
Right.
And you come and the bomb guys are trying to set the bomb, the other guys are trying to defuse it, and whenever you die, you're dead for that round.
They don't.
And
They don't call
you have
them
like 30
SWAT
rounds.
team and terrorists anymore. They
It's SWAT. Yeah, it's SWAT and terrorists. I just didn't think of the name.
Because I was going to say, when I was at Valve, that's what they called them. I
Yeah,
mean, that they
yeah.
could have gone more PC.
That's basically my counter logic or my Counter-Strike logic. So
No worries.
But that's not PC. You just call them terrorists.
I know, right? That's what I was like. Why would they change that? That's so.
I don't want to
lame.
have that conversation with my child where I walk in there. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm a terrorist." I'm like,
Well, you're a
Whoa.
diffuser. A diffuser. That's what you are.
like sneak out to the kitchen, like pick up the phone slowly and start dialing 911.
yeah.
Oh boy, that is fun stuff. What are people saying about
Games
the
have
overlays?
corrupted my son. What?
Dude, kids are doomed but today games. Like I can't even imagine like my son playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I love GTA 5. Don't get me wrong, it's probably my
Oh,
favorite.
yeah, it's good.
Time. But I like try to picture in my head like what if my 6-year-old son sat down and played this for like 8 hours a day for a week? Like
Oh my
would
gosh.
it change him as a person? And the answer is yes.
Yes, definitely. That's one of the other things that I really do like about Overwatch is that honestly I feel like my kids could watch me play without
Yeah.
really any kind of
Watch
filtering.
you play. Just don't connect to like Xbox Live or anything. You're gonna have every little 12-year-old.
No, we play on PC, so we're
Yeah.
we're down with all of it. One
You
of my
get
girls
slightly
is going to bed.
light.
Love you, kiddo.
Josh, are you recording?
Good night. No, I totally forgot.
Okay, let's
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Do over.
Let's do the clap.
Yep.
The clap. All right.
we got the clap. Don't worry.
So let's do the clap just so because I've already been recording for a little while, so I can find it.
And you're doing the Skype recorder thing, right?
I'm shadow playing it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we're good. We're good in case any audio goes bad. I think so.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I want to do the clap.
You want to do the clap take? All
Want
right.
to do the clap?
We're
All right. On 3.
On 3, not 3 and then go. On 3.
No. Okay, 3, then clap. Okay, after I say 3. All right.
All right.
It doesn't have to be perfect. 1, 2, 3. That was so good. Okay.
That was good. That was within millisecond.
Whew. It's
We're
awesome.
professional. We don't use time indexes to synchronize stuff. We use the clap.
The clap.
Yes.
That's
I'm not that far deep into this stuff yet. Maybe one of these days I'll do it correctly.
he's learning. He's getting some
learning.
book learnings. So that's all good. It's been a slow week for Overwatch news, so let's just get that out of the way right away. Blizzard tends to dry up on the news this close to BlizzCon, so the news this week is Zarya released for Heroes of the Storm. That's it. Okay, so
Well, and the Overwatch Open's going on too, so we might touch on that.
oh, is that right?
If you guys want to be a real news outlet, you should just make news up. Be like, did you hear that Overwatch 2 is going to be out next week? They're announcing it.
Oh my gosh, that's
really funny that you mentioned that. I actually thought about just inventing news.
You should just start making stuff up, man, and people go out and it'll become larger in life. Like within a week, there'll be like a confirmation letter from Blizzard saying that none of this.
I like it. That's cool. Yeah. So, Jerry, have you played Heroes of the Storm at all?
No, I haven't. I hear a lot about it, but I haven't played it.
You're kind of a busy guy, so it's
okay.
It's okay. Totally fine. So Jerry and I met. Gosh, has it been 3 years ago, Jerry?
It's been a while, bro.
Yeah, we met through Metal Jesus.
We did.
Through his YouTube channel, Metal Jesus Rocks. Give him a little pimping. And we went to Portland Retro Expo, and it was Jerry and my first time. And kind of like, you and me, Brandon, Jerry and I just clicked. We were hanging out, and we were like, yeah, well, this is good stuff.
Yep. And then I got drunk and lost my shoe.
That is true. There is a video on Metal Jesus' channel. You should go watch.
That's awesome.
And my Duck Hunt Mario cartridge, like, seen some stuff.
Oh man, do you still have that?
I do.
Okay,
I do. It's outside outside my room in a box, I believe.
Okay. I got to make sure because that thing's been through some stuff. So
that thing's been in a urinal. Hopefully nobody peed on it, but it was in a urinal. I have photographic evidence of that.
We did put sanitizer on it though, so that's okay.
We did. We soaked that thing in Purell.
It's Purell.
We were at the con and we were just like burning out the motor in the machine, just dumping it on there. It was awesome.
Oh boy! And so that's how Jerry and I know each other. And then last summer when we first got the bad news about my wife's cancer, he took me to pizza and bowling.
We had
that's awesome.
Candlelit dinner and then went bowling.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's right. We did. I remember that.
Candlelit dinner. That's right. He listened to me whine.
So did the person behind us too.
That's a good friend right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Take you out to bowling. Yeah,
exactly.
My buddies did that. My uncle, he had passed away, and so my buddies were like, yeah, let's all get together and go bowling, and we'll go hang out. And yeah, it was pretty big for me to be able to just get away from everything and be able to talk to some people. It's that's cool that you did that for him, Jerry.
Yeah,
cool.
How are you, man? How are you, Brandon? How's the
man?
life?
I have been doing great. I've been moving a ton of hay this week.
That's not a euphemism. That's
I was like,
that's literal.
No, that's literally, yeah. I've moved tons of hay. My family, they own a farm, so my dad he farms alfalfa, and then hay buyers that have horses come and they buy the hay, and then I take it to them. Basically, I'm just like a grunt for rich people. So
I kind of expected that there was a farm involved, because if you were hauling hay and there was no farm involved, boy, there was some deeper line of questioning that was needed there.
Yes, yeah. So that, and I play.
I'm a venture capitalist, and I move hay on the weekends.
Yeah, but other than that, I actually have gotten kind of back into Overwatch quite a bit. I'm trying to get the diamond. So,
what is the diamond? You guys are gonna explain. Okay, here, let me give you guys a background on my Overwatch knowledge. Okay, I know who Bastion is because he's basically all I play until they nerfed him, but they nerfed him. Now he's no longer fun to play. I remember playing Bastion when all you did was just deploy the turret from 5 miles away and hold down the trigger, and everybody died. Like,
oh yeah.
Was that still when he had a shield?
Yeah, was it?
Yeah,
had a personal shield. I was like, geez.
And fair warning to the viewers, my wife is watching Netflix in the background, so don't worry. It's house renovation stuff.
Well, it's okay. We're on Twitch anyways. When was the last time Twitch enforced anything?
Yeah, that's true. Well, you're only going to be able to see like little bits and pieces of the show right here.
Dude, if you were on YouTube, like a 4x4 pixel cluster would somehow match you on it.
Right?
Your system's so sensitive. They could hear, like, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger fart in Predator, and it would like...
That's awesome. So, Bastion, Nerf, that was your last time playing. But you had... you did some stuff with Bill Duran, Chinbeard, on Twitter.
I did lots of things with Bill Duran.
Oh,
he's a cool guy. I've seen a ton of his stuff. I've been following him for.
Oh, do you want to see my signed book? I do. I got to show you guys.
Yes. Is this that's the foam crafting book? You can probably hear me. I don't know.
I'm back. That was a short distance. All right.
That's a good thing.
This. Look at what I got.
Oh, that is the foam
That's
crafting.
awesome.
Yeah, I got the first one. He signed it Poopiter
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
on the side, and then the second one, he crossed out how to forge foam weapons and put how to ruin foam weapons.
That's just for you, man.
Yeah. So Bill
awesome.
Bill is awesome. Everybody already knows Bill's awesome though, because he's done like everything. He's worked with Tested. The dude met like Chris Hadfield, the NASA guy that was on the International Space Station. I mean, dude's like been everywhere, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, he makes amazing stuff.
Yeah, he lives in my backyard basically. And
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like literally, he's probably like a 30-minute drive away.
Every time I see him, I'm like, dude, we should get together. And he's like, yeah, totally. And then I didn't know he was
Never
that
happens.
close.
I will. Yeah, no, he's literally just like, you know, I don't want to say specifically, but he's close.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I went down there because I was invited to a 3D printing party that he was throwing for all the people in the 3D printing community. And so I went to his party. We hit it off. Everything went really well. Met tons of people. Like I could not believe like the level of people. Like Bindi Smalls was there. I like didn't know who she was. I was like, man, she is gorgeous. I don't have a filter. So I meet this girl. I'm like, oh my god! And she starts showing me pictures of her cosplay, and I'm just like,
wow.
and so her boyfriend was there too. He's a really cool guy, and so we're all hanging out in sand and stuff. And she's showing me like her 3D printed stuff that she makes. Made me literally like I tuck things between my legs. And she got me in the 3D printing department, like bent over a barrel. So
Wow.
so I met tons of cool people, and Bill's showing me some of the projects that he's working on and some of the armor. And I don't know if you guys saw the video I did on it, but I did a video of the whole party. If you check it out over on barnerd.com. And so he asked me later on if I'd be interested in doing a project for Maker Faire, because he caught wind that I wanted to 3D print a helmet for Maker Faire. We talked about it a little bit. And he's like, oh, well, why don't I help you with that? And I was like, well, you just signed up for something, didn't you? So
Little did he know.
So that's how it starts. So first off, I'm like, why don't you go select a helmet? I asked him, I said, why don't you go out to Thingiverse and select a helmet that you think's really cool, and I'll print that one just to save time, because you got to realize it's 2 weeks before Maker Faire. We belted this whole thing out start to finish in a week.
Wow.
Oh man.
And so
Jeez.
I didn't even know was possible until I met Bill. That Bill doesn't know how not to succeed. That guy is just like crazy good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, even though I like botched all the 3D prints and everything, he like saved it. So, I mean, I'm not even joking. He literally did.
Remember, there are no mistakes. They're just happy accidents.
They're just happy accidents, especially when you've got tons of glue and Bondo and every tool. So he's looking on Thingiverse for a helmet, and he comes back and he's like, I don't really like what I'm seeing. He's like, you know what? I just want to make a helmet. He's like, let me just design one. Let's do Reinhardt, because Reinhardt is kind of a simple design, you know, all things considered.
Sure.
And so he hands it over to his wife, Brittany, who's like hella talented. She's like knows how to 3D model like none other.
Are you
And
kidding
she
me?
said-
So he created the blueprint for the thing you printed?
She did.
Holy
Oh my
cow.
gosh.
He's like, I want a Reinhardt helmet, and she actually went and modeled the entire thing from scratch. It took her like a day or
Wow.
two. So then after she modeled it, she breaks it into 10 different pieces that can be printed on a desktop FDM printer. I told her like what the dimensions of the printers were.
Wow.
And he printed half the parts and I printed the other half, because we didn't have enough time for one of us to print the entire helmet.
Wow.
So not even seeing each other, we split up the files, started a spreadsheet to track each other's prints, and boom, just threw caution to the wind. Got all 10 parts printed. Ended up making some mistakes by using different materials and stuff. We didn't settle on a material early on, so
Note to self: settle on your materials early.
settle on your materials. Don't print half the helmet in like a copolymer and the other half in PLA. It doesn't work very well. So all the pieces were printed. We came together, and in one day we went from a pile of plastic parts to a completely prepped and base coated helmet ready to paint.
We've got a picture. We're gonna have a picture of it in the show notes.
That's awesome.
For that helmet, because it is
Yes.
incredible. Because down to the paint job on it too.
Dude, he like airbrushed everything and like patinaed it, so it looks like, when you look at it, it looks like it's brushed metal. It looks like a cast brushed metal helmet.
Right.
And it looks like there's actually rust forming in the cracks and in the joints. And there's places where he like took little cracks, and instead of fixing the cracks, he made it look like it was battle damage.
Oh wow.
Oh, man.
Because he didn't want to fix it, he looked at it, and his artistic eye told him, oh, well, I can make this actually, I can darken the lines and everything and make it look like this is an actual like strike from something.
Right. Right.
And so it turned out amazing. And then he made a removable insert for the visor, because the visor on Reinhardt is completely opaque.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a removable one so you can wear the helmet and walk around, or one where you're just wearing the helmet stationary that you can't see through, but looks like screen accurate.
Wow.
That's
And
so cool.
It turned out
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh.
It took one day to take a pile of cracked like 3D parts that had like, you know, little filament hairs hanging off it and stuff. From that to a completely smooth, and he didn't cut any corners. He actually bolted the horn on so it can be shipped. You can actually take the center horn because it's massive.
Wow.
Right.
It's bolted in. He even 3D'd a wrench to put the bolt in.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Can you actually wear it, Jerry?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like,
so cool.
like you. We're not talking like a child has to wear it. It fits on a man's head.
I have an Instagram picture of me wearing it in his yard with the Barnacules Nerdgasm shirt on. It fits perfectly.
Wow.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
So Jerry, you're Reinhardt.
I am.
That's awesome.
It's like Stark. It's like I am. Reinhardt.
I like it.
No. It was an amazing project. I got to see all the little tricks that he uses to recover from literally anything. Like I'm confident at this point that I could give him a roll of filament with no 3D printer, and he would just heat it with a heat gun and form it with his hands, and have something amazing.
Chew on it a little bit. Here you go, Reinhardt helmet.
Yep, but the paint brings it to life. Like when it had the base coat on it and it was all smooth, like I was like, wow, you couldn't see any seams on it. Everything that I've ever painted or 3D printed has seams. This is the first time nothing had seams. And you couldn't tell it wasn't one piece. And then the best part was after he assembled the whole thing, that night when he painted it, his wife Brittany took it outside and fiberglassed the entire inside of the helmet so to make it super strong so that it can't crack or fall apart.
Wow.
So now it's like you pick it up and it feels like you're holding like a motorcycle helmet. It's like legitimately durable.
That's awesome.
That's dedication, man. That's incredible.
Yeah, and I want to say that the total time into the project, I mean, except for the 3D prints, right? Leaving the 3D printers to run, I would say under 20 hours.
That's amazing.
How long did the printing actually take?
It took about 4 days. 4 days of 24/7 printing on both of our parts.
Wow. And so you were not printing on your desktop printer, right?
Yeah, this was all printed on my desktop printer.
What about because you and I talked about it before, not with this project, but the fumes.
It's in my garage. My printers are in the garage and his printer's in his workshop.
Gotcha. I thought the thing with the orange there sitting on your desk was your...
Oh, no, that's the really expensive 3D printer.
Oh, got it.
I only print small things on this, like this little magnifying glass that I'm polishing. It'll be optically clear when I'm done, or if I don't break it.
And I put that anywhere.
Okay, look at that. I literally just broke it.
Are you kidding?
No.
No, I just broke the handle off it. It was a pretty weak point to begin with, but it's okay. I just need the lens. The lens is what I'm doing the video on, so I don't really care.
It reminds me of that video. I don't know if you've ever seen it on YouTube of the guy who's holding a recording cylinder. It's like one of the ancient recording cylinders, pre-record cylinders, and he's talking, and you can tell he's really nervous, and the thing shatters in his hands.
Oh no!
Yeah,
and man.
Look it up on YouTube. It's great.
No, you want to see something cool here? I'll show you guys. So this is the smallest thing. You can't print this on any other type of printer, but watch this. So you guys are coming for a magic ride. Can you guys see that?
Nope. Your camera turned off.
Is it? Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The hell did it turn off? All I did was pick it up.
We're seeing the picture of you in a stormtrooper costume.
Why is it? Why?
It's
pick up one camera. Hold on, let me go into
Dang
setting.
it, Jerry! This is why we can't have nice things.
I ruined everything. I wanted to show you guys something cool, and I ruined it. Okay, I somehow made it upset by picking it up. This is not Oh, is it coming back?
Nope.
Hold on.
It did for a second.
I think Skype just locked up. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Skype is like not responding.
That's not great.
It literally says not responding, and you guys aren't moving anymore, but I can still talk to you somehow.
Weird.
I have a feeling Skype is going to crash. If it does, I'll just jump right back in.
Okay. And those of you watching on the stream, you might notice some weird camera stuff hopping around with all this, but
we're good. We're
this
good to go.
This is the YouTube life, guys.
This is the way this is real. This is reality. This is how it happens.
Yeah,
but Bill Duran is absolutely amazing. I got to my first time I ever went to BlizzCon, which was 3 years ago now. He had made I don't know if either of you guys have played StarCraft before, but he had made a Nova, the sniper rifle that Nova carries.
Yeah,
he had made it completely, and I was thinking, it's gonna be like small or anything. And I got there, and this like 6'6" guy was holding it, and he was like one of the only guys that could like carry it around and look like somewhat normal.
Wow,
it was ginormous. It was so cool. So
that is really cool. I saw him. He and last year, I don't know if you saw him at did you do the 3D booth, like the rotating camera booth at BlizzCon?
No, I didn't get to do it.
Okay. He and I can't remember who he was with. It was probably his wife. They did the pose with the 360. That's what it is, not 3D camera. The 360 camera, and he like jumped up in the air, and she had her shield and sword and shield up, and they took that picture, and they were all decked out in armor and everything else. It looked incredible. I mean, it was the attention to detail, and that's one of the things we obviously repeat ourselves a lot on. That Blizzard has, he clearly employs the same thing. I'm interested, once we get Jerry back on the phone here. You're still with me, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
I'm interested, once we get Jerry back on. Hello.
What's up?
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, I'm rebooting my computer, so I'm on the iPhone right now.
Oh, fantastic.
Cool.
Well, welcome back. I was just saying it'd be interesting to get your perspective on, I know that you're really into cosplay, and you've, looked into, you've talked with a lot of people. You're obviously involved with Bill. But one of the things I always say with cosplayers is that the amount of, the attention to detail is definitely there. But how do these people have the money to invest in these costumes? It's incredible to me.
Man, they're so decisive, or probably not the right word for it, but they're very good at going out and finding these different, like, stuff that you might throw out, right? Like a piece of foam, or a something like a piece of an engine, or something that they can use to make the stuff that they make. And lots of times, like Bill Duran, for example, he talks about how lots of these costumes that he makes really don't cost all that much to make.
They don't.
He gets the foam mats, and he puts them together, and that's how he makes it, And so I really I agree with you, Josh. I think the quality that we get to see isn't money invested. It's definitely time and sweat and just effort put into these costumes and make them look so nice.
Blood, sweat, and beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the truth is they're not that expensive to build. I mean, the foam smithing books that you can get from Bill Duran show you how to literally just go buy those foam pads that you put down in your garage.
Yeah.
And you just cut those up and make them into everything. So you're literally just buying foam and some glue and some paint. And you're making amazing looking stuff. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is cool. The time thing is also an issue for me in terms of practicality, because I spend my time playing Overwatch.
Well, yeah, actually, something I've been trying to get myself to do, because I love playing Overwatch and I love doing that, but as a college student, you have so much free time. Like,
right.
I make myself think that I don't have that much free time.
Hey, he's
but
back.
I have yeah, sweet. Uh-oh.
We good?
Yeah, got you there.
Yes.
So, anyways, as a college student, you don't think you have a lot of time, but you do, right? So I've actually I'm looking into to start leather working and stuff. And what I'd like to eventually do is do geeky things with leather, make I was thinking USB leather cases, just random stuff like that, because just having something that's a hobby to do where you're making something physical that you can look at and be proud of is really amazing. And these cosplayers that do this all the time, I mean, I can't even imagine the feeling of success that they get out of themselves after they finish a project. So
right, yeah, that's gotta feel. And I've done some things like that. I mean, I definitely, one of the things I said is if I had a hobby that I was gonna do that involved my hands, I'd do woodworking or something, because I know so many woodworking people that just really seem to love it and take a lot of satisfaction. Jerry, I imagine it's kind of the same when you're doing 3D printing and stuff. As a project's done and you're like, look what I did.
Here's the thing about 3D printing is it gives you a false sense of being awesome. because you can literally take something that somebody else created, but because you're 3D printing, it feels like you're building it, but you're not really.
Yeah.
But it still takes ability. That's the thing is 3D printing isn't the point where you just pop it in and hit print. Well, except for that thing right there. But the problem with that machine is for 1 liter of material, it's $150. So yeah, that's not cost effective unless you're printing miniatures. But to give you an idea, that printer right there, actually, the picture I was trying to show you, but I'm not touching the camera again, because apparently touching the camera causes a bugbear, is I printed a Snorlax from Pokemon. but he was so small that I put him on the tip of my finger, and you can see like 5 of the little fingerprint indentations. That's as wide as he is on my finger.
Wow.
That's the resolution that can print at. An FDM printer can achieve that. It would literally just look like a ball of gum crapped out of the nozzle. That was it. But this is great for printing small stuff. But the FDM printers for printing large things are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have a 3D printer in the next 10 years. Mark my words. It's going to happen. Might even be 5. Like before, it's just so mainstream, everybody has them.
And then we'll be 3D printing food and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the only reason 3D printers are still expensive, and I say that relatively. I mean, think about it. 5 years ago, 3D printers were like $50,000. You know, and it's like today you get one for like $350 and build it yourself, or $600 all the way put together.
Right.
But the thing is 3D printers are not complicated machines. They're incredibly simple machines. They have 3 axes that move around. That's it. Axes, I think, is the correct term. I don't know. I'm not a linguist. I'm not a cunning linguist.
Cunning.
So the stepper motors literally are just moving 3 axes, and then you have one other motor that just pushes material. It just pushes filament through a hot end. That's basically a hot glue gun. It's indistinguishable from a hot glue gun.
That's awesome.
It works. And this very, very simple machine, what makes it expensive is the research and development to write the software to control all those motors and get them to produce a predictable result. But the machine itself is there's nothing to it. That's why people are like building these things out of garbage. I mean, the guy who built a 3D printer, he like took VCRs apart and used the motors in them. They weren't even stepper motors. He found a way to like make a motor controller that would simulate a stepper motor with a regular motor. And he made a 3D printer. It didn't do a very good job, but it was still good enough. And he built it for free out of garbage he found. You know, so it just gives you an idea of the technology is definitely accessible. You're starting to see it on the shelves now. Right. You know, you go into stores like Staples and Home Depot, and you see the Dremel Idea Maker and stuff on sale. So it's starting to get out there. It's just a matter of time before you have the Lexmarks and the HPs and everything going, okay, this 2D printing thing. So yesterday, and they start doing it too. And then the cost of materials have come down. I remember when a 1 kilogram roll of filament for PLA was about $100 when MakerBot like really started becoming mainstream a couple years ago. And now you can pick it up for like $20 for a kilogram of, not the greatest filament, but for a kilogram of plastic, $20 on Amazon.
That's
awesome.
And it's going to come down more than that. I mean, because they have so many different types of materials now, and a lot of them are biodegradable materials. Like the PLA, I believe, is a corn-derived plastic. It doesn't use petroleum. It's not toxic in the sense that you can eat it, but it does tend to off-gas. That's why people are getting worried about, you know, it being a potential carcinogen.
Right.
Because it creates those microscopic particles that can get down in your lungs. And it itself isn't creating the cancer so much as it's just clogging up your lungs and causing you to create the cancer yourself. But, you know, you don't want to take that risk. So that's why I moved those 3D printers out to the garage. I have airflow. It's very, very simple to build a HEPA filtration system for them. I'm going to do a whole video on how to do that. But as you can see, I've already printed 2 things from the Overwatch game. See, I'm going to segue back to Overwatch because, you know, that's what the stream's about.
Hey, no, that's awesome. I love it.
So I already did that. Did you guys ever see the tracer pistol I 3D printed?
You know what? I saw it on Instagram, but I didn't look at it today. I should have.
No, I haven't seen it.
I'm starting to think you guys don't actually follow me. Like,
well, I was newly introduced to you, so
you know who I am? I thought everybody on Earth knew who I was.
No,
he's been binge watching Barnacules channel.
Yes.
if you go over to my Instagram.com/Barnacules, you will see all the crazy stuff that I've 3D printed, including the tracer pistol and a very small Reinhardt helmet. I made a Reinhardt helmet that fit on an action figure.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Over here. So I printed the tracer gun so far and the Reinhardt helmet, and I plan to print the rest of the arsenal over time. I already have a buddy of mine, Simone Fontana, who's an excellent designer. He used to work for My Mini Factory a while ago. He was involved in the Stormtrooper project. You remember the Stormtrooper suit that I had at PAX?
Yeah. Yeah,
so he was one of the designers that helped with that, and he's designing all of the Overwatch guns right now.
Oh, wow.
And he just did the one that's which character has the sound gun, the giant speaker sound gun?
Oh, Lucio.
Okay, so he just built a giant version of that gun. I mean, it's giant, fully 3D printed. It's like 20 some
awesome.
And it's massive.
Holy cow.
And so he's sending me the design next week so I can start printing that.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
And what I really want to do is I want to print out the entire arsenal, and I want to take the back of the nerd cave here along the sloped ceiling, and I want to hang hooks so that I can have the gun staggered hanging from the ceiling.
Dude,
that's awesome. It'll look like something like out of Men in Black when they open the thing. That's awesome.
And if I can do something for Bill to get him to paint those things, oh my god!
Did he paint the tracer gun for you?
He didn't paint the tracer gun. It was actually all 3D printed. I just used different colors of filament.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
But but if he painted it, it would seriously look like real. Like the TSA would probably like tase you. I was gonna wear the helmet onto the plane because I had to pay $150 to ship it to New York.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
wow.
it would be 200 if I did 2 day. I did 3 day and it was 150. Ooh, big savings there. But I didn't want to risk it getting broken in transport on the airplane and everything. Plus, I didn't want to risk TSA confiscating it because it has a giant like horn on top that's like as sharp as a hypodermic needle and weighs like 8 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have just worn it in.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. And apparently, do that. Apparently, like during cosplay and stuff, like people wear their helmets and stuff onto the plane constantly. But this one's just threatening. It literally
Yes.
you could tell at people like a rhinoceros and kill them.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my
If
god.
the TSA let me through, I would actually like feel less safe.
Somebody's gonna take this helmet from me and kill somebody.
Exactly. I'm gonna be the guy. The plane is gonna get hijacked because like some potential guy, like he's sitting right on that edge of, do I join ISIS or not? I really don't know. But they love me for this, and then he's gonna see that and he's gonna think it's like a sign from Allah that I got this giant horn up down the aisles of the plane, killing everybody. And I'm just gonna be like, oh, why?
I knew I shouldn't have brought it, man.
I shouldn't have brought it, man. All I had to do was get UPS to ship it, but no, now everybody has to die. Yeah, no.
And then at the pearly gates it'd be, so tell us about this helmet, Jerry.
Yeah. So, I've been following your Instagram. Really big fan. I'll start off with that. Not so much anymore, but what used to be.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, that's really cool. So
who's your favorite character in Overwatch so far, Jerry?
Bastion.
Oh yeah, you told me you said that.
Well, okay. It used to be Bastion, but Bastion's still all I play because he's really all I know, and it takes me too long to learn another character. So I was like, I'm actually pretty good with Bastion. As long as I get a guy in front of me with a shield, I'm still pretty unstoppable, relatively speaking. Tracer, I do like playing Tracer, but I do not have the timing down for Tracer. Like Tracer requires you to really have your timing down, like exactly. Like if you got something coming at you, you got to react very, very quickly, and my reaction time's horrible. Like, I mean, really horrible.
Yeah. I play quite a bit of Tracer, and lots of the times, like if that Reinhardt's charging at you, you're like, oh my gosh, and then you end up getting slammed against the wall. So, but
you're like, there's Tracer, and then Tracer's behind you shooting in the back of the head. By the time you turn around, Tracer's gone again. You're like, okay, this sucks.
That is one of my favorite things to do as Tracer is when I'm fighting a Reinhardt or something. Yep. So he has his shield up, right? So you blink through the shield and start shooting from behind, and he turns around, and then you blink back through, and Tracer is definitely she's sneaky. So
the interesting thing about Tracer and playing her, Brandon, you and I have talked about that before, and Dave actually Wildtree, he's been on the show before. He's the one who pointed out, he's like, Tracer's supposed to be like a mosquito. She's supposed to be annoying. You're not necessarily going for kills, although obviously you can, but you play Tracer and you just annoy the crap out of people. And if you get people who will focus on you if you're playing Tracer and ignore the actual objective, job done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching. I guess this is a good little transition, but the Overwatch Open is going on right now, and I'm pretty sure whatever teams win this are go to BlizzCon and they compete. I believe that's what's going on. Anyways, it's $300,000 prize pool. It's really, really, really great for Overwatch and the esports scene. But I was watching it today, and each team had a Tracer almost every match, right? Because it's so important to have her, especially on like control point maps, because she can stay around the whole time. So what I was watching, this guy named, I think his name was Soon, something along those those lines. But this guy literally held the point by himself while the whole team was chasing him around. The whole enemy team was chasing him around, trying to kill him, and he gave his team enough time to get back to the point and recapture it. And then he did a taunt at the end of the game because they won. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. He wasn't even getting touched by this enemy team, and I'm like, these guys are professionals,
Yeah.
So she's definitely
it's a
amazing.
huge difference watching. Brandon, you're great at playing Reaper, no doubt about it, and I think that. My opinion is that you could be pro because you're really good at Reaper.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Do you
and
exploit all the problems with the map though? Every time I see Reaper, it's just popping up through like a little hole that you can't.
Yeah. I'm pretty sneaky with Reaper.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And as soon as as good as people are, you watch these people who do tips and tricks on YouTube. When you watch the pros, it's like, okay, I retire.
Yeah. Well, and it's really cool because we play the game and we enjoy it and have fun playing it, but these guys, they're playing the game for their jobs, right? These guys have dropped out of school, they've quit their jobs, they're now playing to eat, right?
Right.
These guys, it's really cool to see, especially Blizzard recently with Heroes of the Storm. They're actually giving these guys salaries now. The top competitive players are getting salaries. They're getting taken care of. That way they can focus on what they need to do and play these games. Because I mean, honestly, I watch this. There's a streamer out there, and he's a pro player too. His name's Siegel, and his Genji is absolutely amazing. I try to play Genji, and I'm pretty decent with Genji, but I watch this guy and I'm just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this guy is on a completely another level than I will ever probably be able to make it to.
Right.
So, but it's cool to see these guys come together to compete and know that there's a lot on the line for these guys. I mean, I have to get up and go to work every day so I can come home and do a podcast about Overwatch, right?
Right.
These guys have to get up every day and play Overwatch so they can keep doing what they love to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jerry, do you watch much esports? Are you involved in that at all, or not very much?
Well, we've lost him.
No. I actually went to MLG down in Southern California a couple of years ago with Jay, and I have to say it was kind of cringy. It's like, that's the best way I could put it. It was literally like huge bullpens of 12-year-old kids standing on their seat and yelling expletives at each other and throwing keyboards.
Oh man, that's
Craziest thing.
no good.
And then if you walked further into the venue, there was like the huge stage with the disco lights and seating for like 600 people and ESPN style reporting people. And then you had two boxes that each had like a team inside of it. They were playing Call of Duty. And and you watch these guys playing, and it was just like they were just completely like expressionless.
Yep.
It wasn't for the announcers and the in-game footage. It would just be like, it would look like zombies trying to play Nintendo.
It's like the bassist, right? The bassist who's just cool and just expressionless, but he's jamming hardcore.
Yep. And they get super mad. Like, and this is the funny thing is, like any other sport, they're always trying to call people out for cheating, right? Like who's the guy with the deflate gate guy? I don't know my football very well.
Yeah, don't look at me.
Tom Brady.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Yes.
Deflate gate. So they have the same kind of crap going on at MLG. Twice they stopped the game while I was sitting there. They basically, after the round, called a pause, and they went and looked at the controller of the player that was getting too many headshots because they thought that he was using a modified controller.
Oh, boy.
Did he grease his controller?
Yeah,
Is that what he did? Did he grease it?
Yeah. It's like, oh, we found a bottle of KY on him. Get him out of here. It was, but serious. They were going to that level. Like, there is so
That's
much
crazy.
on the line that they're like freaking like wanting to check everything. Like, oh, that guy got 3 headshots. It's like when you go and play on a server and it's like some dude headshots 5 people. What do you see chat blowing up with? He's a bot. He's using a headshot bot. It's
guilty.
like,
I am guilty of making that statement.
You're like, there's no way somebody's humanly that good. But then I could sit down and watch, like, my 15 or 16-year-old nephew just run around and do that, like, knee-jerk reaction. I mean, he moves a controller with the precision of a mouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's one of those types of things. But you can definitely get the vibe when you go to an MLG event that the players there all make their living doing that. None of them have the side jobs. It's all 100% in. And if they don't do a good job, they're going to get kicked off the team. Just like real sports, if you watch all the Twitter drama and everything, people are getting kicked out of FaZe left and right all the time for drug abuse or Adderall or like it's all these like things that they treat it very much like a real sport.
Yeah,
it's because they want the media to take it seriously, and it's starting to take hold. I mean, you see these things broadcasting on ESPN now.
It's great.
It's no more G4 Tech TV. I know that ship's long sailed. But, they don't need their own channel to have like the nerd network. It's like now these sports are interesting. I remember when I went on the cruise to Alaska, I'm sitting inside of my cabin and I turn on the TV and I'm flipping through, the channels, and I hit like ESPN2 or ESPN the Ocho or whatever it is. The Ocho. Literally a CS:GO tournament. Wow. And then the announcers were like, oh, and you got like Billy Bob coming around the corner, and oh my God, you can see he's zooming in now. He's got this nice little technique where he like narrows it down to 1 pixel between these 2 barriers. Boom, shot, headshot, he got him. And you're like, wow, the guy that's actually playing this is just sitting there like crickets chirping, just like, gotta kill. But there's some other dude on the other side of the stage in a sound booth just getting like excited,
Right.
Yeah.
massively overexcited.
So
Well, and it's actually cool. This Heroes Open is actually being broadcast on TBS. TBS has kind of taken it up on themselves, and probably actually a pretty good idea to start casting these major events in esports. You know,
Yeah.
because nobody else is doing it. G4 doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Every time ESPN does it, they get just a ton of backlash. And
See our
but-
sports ball. What you doing, John?
right? And you were talking about how it's a little bit cringy at times, and I'll be honest, definitely is. I think Riot Games has taken it to a next level. If you watch a League of Legends championship, it's almost like you're watching like a football game. It's amazing. But with this Overwatch Open, it's a little bit less. It's a little bit. People are still figuring out stuff. There's actually a compilation video of like the casters they're talking to the players after the game, right? And you gotta understand, these guys, they're professional video game players, right? They're not out every day talking to their boss.
you mean they're not out at all ever? Because they're professional video game players.
And so a lot of these guys are pretty socially awkward, but there is actually a compilation.
They
Sorry.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually a compilation. Gosh, I can't say it. There's a video that, and all it is this caster, and he's trying to shake these guys' hands. And every time he tries to shake one of these guys' hands, it's like either the limp fish comes out, or like they miss, or it's just like, oh my gosh, guys,
Have
come
some
on.
social skills. Yeah. Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
I know you've got a new mic and a new soundboard.
I do, baby.
Yeah, and if it's like your system's auto ducking. Every time Brandon and I say something, it shuts you up.
That's got to be on your side because my feed shouldn't be affected by anything you guys are saying. It should. You know what it probably is? I bet you Skype has a feature to cut me off so that when you're in a group call, you don't talk over each other.
It doesn't happen with Brandon though.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, here, let me check. Let me check here. Start saying stuff, and I'll just talk.
Okay, so
did you watch any of the?
You're right. It actually is. It is cutting me. You are absolutely right. No, I just watched that. The microphone gain level, as soon as you guys are talking, it completely hits 0.
Oh.
So something is happening inside of Skype that's basically muting my mic while you guys are talking. I don't know. I've never had this happen.
Well, it's all right. It was first time for everything, and you don't have to change it. I mean, we're doing okay, making sure we're watching your lips and going.
Makes it hard for me to interrupt you, though.
Ooh, Jerry's lips.
The lips.
Soft and supple.
I've been dying to try out my bass effect here. Here was my bass. Here's my bass, yeah. How's it going, ladies?
Holy crap.
Mm-mm. Go ahead and climb on your speakers now.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah, baby. All right, that's back to natural.
I'm going to heat up your PlayStation.
You know what I'm dying to use, though, is the effects on this. I'm trying to figure out why they're not working. Apparently, you're supposed to turn a knob. Like, hold on here. I'm gonna try it. We're going to go for karaoke.
We're all going to get deafened.
There's an effect called karaoke. Okay, we'll lock that in. All right, we're going to try this out. Let's see. Is there any difference? No?
No.
Why is there no difference? There should be a difference. Let me turn effects up all the way. All right. And nothing? Nothing? I like you're all like scared.
I'm like waiting. I'm like, oh, it's going to hurt.
Oh, wait, hold on. You got to push this button, maybe. Wait, that do anything?
Wait,
Nope.
Do it again.
Nothing?
Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Fly me to the moon.
Radio voice. Oh, let's do radio voice. Hold on. 22 and... How's it going, guys? This is the radio coming at you live from 106.1.
That sounds... It's uncanny.
Isn't that weird?
That's crazy.
You can change the effect by turning the knobs. You can make it sound like and today on ESPN,
AM radio
coming in from the planet Mars. Yes, there's some aliens landing.
Well, whatever you did, I think we're not auto ducking. You're not auto ducking anymore.
Is it maybe?
Okay, now you are. When you were messing with the effects, it was fine.
Well, maybe you guys just weren't talking.
yeah, that might have been it.
We were just listening, trying to.
Dude, this is... Hold on here. I really... Here. So I can see myself on the levels here. Hold on. You guys can still hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me turn that up.
Silky smooth.
Check. Okay, here. Say something. I'm going to say something, see if my meter drops out on the board. Check. Nope.
Not that time.
Still fine. So...
Weird. But now it's still happening. It's so bizarre.
This is weird. This is really weird, guys.
It is still doing it. Interesting. All right, well, that's enough of this. Sounding like I'm a big drooler over here.
Just to make sound. He wants
just
me to
put
make
that
sound.
anywhere. It's all right.
I gotta itch my butt on camera. You guys can make a GIF out of that or something.
Woohoo! Awesome. I'm sorry. What did you call it? It's a GIF. Thank you.
A GIF.
I call it a GIF.
I don't go to the garage. I go to the garage to get my car.
Do you? Oh, okay. So what you're saying is you like to use your knife when you cut food.
And we're not even going to go there right now. Hey, Brandon and I play on PC. Jerry, do you play on PC or have you played on PC?
I only play on PC. I haven't even played the Xbox version yet.
Okay. Yeah, because Amber was on last week, actually, technically earlier this week, and she's a console player. And it's say what?
Which Amber?
Amber, Mr. Structo.
Oh yes. Okay.
Which
Sorry.
Amber? Listen to this guy.
Different names.
He knows too many Ambers.
Yeah, that's what his wife says.
You know what's funny is my wife doesn't get nervous or jealous as much as I travel everywhere. Like she must just think that I'm just the most innocent person ever.
I think she probably knows the truth.
I think I'm awkward, so that keeps me out of trouble most of the time.
Oh, that is awesome. So, Jerry, you and I on Twitter earlier today were talking about kind of throwing around ADHD and changes that we've seen in ourselves. Brandon, a couple weeks ago, maybe it was more than that, you and I were talking about your focus being, you want to play Overwatch, but in the back of your head, you've got a list that you're supposed to take care of. Back of your mind, you're thinking, I've got to do the dishes, I've got to do this other thing, or whatever. And it kind of made me think on what Jerry had said on Twitter today was about...
Get married so you don't have to do those things?
Yeah. Oh, snap.
Oh, boom. Just lost 500 subscribers.
Right. You'll get them back tomorrow, don't worry.
They always come back.
But just about... I was diagnosed in 8th grade with ADHD. And I took medication for a little while for it. Then I didn't. And then as an adult, got tested again and am taking ADHD medication again.
Which one do you take?
What? Can we talk about this on the air? I feel all
Yeah,
awkward.
I take Adderall. I tell everybody what I take.
This is the most public I think I've probably ever been about this. It feels weird.
I'm a pretty open book online because I found that it just makes things easier in the long run.
And then people aren't hunting down what it is that you're...
Yeah, because people used to message me I'll be playing a game or something like that. It's oh, this guy takes Adderall. And then he comes out and he's like, oh, I apologize, guys. I've been taking Adderall for my thing. And it's prescribed from a doctor and he's apologized. It's no, I'm not. I'm not going to apologize. Let's make it public, guys. It's a prescribed drug. I'm allowed to take it.
Fair point. Yeah. I take something called Vyvanse.
Okay, I'm familiar with that one. That's actually pretty mellow. I take Adderall, which is basically amphetamine, straight up amphetamine.
And not that you need any extra energy.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it comes from.
Well, and I think the reason why I kind of tied those two together is that it's easy to, I think it's a marked difference in my life being on ADD medication than not.
Yes.
Because I'm able to prioritize the things that need to get done. With some exceptions. I mean, obviously, one of the things with the ADD brain is that instant gratification, and we're all kind of like that, right?
But it's severe in ADHD cases. Right. I literally, if it takes longer than a couple hours to do, I won't even start into it.
Right, right. But then there's also that thing with the ADHD brain where they call it hyper-focusing, where you've seen kids do this, who are completely hyperactive off the wall, but you put them in front of a TV, and they will lock in, and they'll stay on that thing for hours.
Yep.
And that also... I totally relate to that too. So it's interesting. I was going to ask you kind of, because I know a little bit about your journey on, on again, off again, with the medication and seeing just what changes you've noticed in yourself.
So for me, I've been through the whole gamut. I've taken every class of medication there is at this point in my life. I've taken antidepressants. I'm not currently on any though, because they work great for some people, but for me, the side effects were just way too severe on all of them. I tried Lexapro, Wellbutrin. What's the other one? Wellbutrin. Why can't I not remember the other one?
Zoloft.
No.
Prozac.
C?
No.
I can't remember.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So I tried 3 of them, and I just had they helped me out, but they like killed my drive. I had no drive to do anything. Like I didn't want to do anything. Like, you know, my wife would be like, "Hey, let's get frisky," and I'd be like, "Nah." I don't know.
Right.
You know? And that's not me. Trust me. If you know me for like 10 minutes and watch 3 of my videos, you know that's not me. So I stopped taking all that, and I just kind of cope with the depression. But the ADHD kind of plays into that. The ADHD and the depression can actually go really well hand in hand in a lot of people, because the ADHD brain allows you to get very, very confused and very, very misdirected quickly. And that can lead to you becoming depressed, because you start getting frustrated that you can't get anything done. And then the more frustrated you get, the more depressed you get.
Absolutely.
So it was a combination of doing that. The ADHD meds I got on probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And we tried a couple of different meds. Adderall is what we eventually settled on, because it seemed to have the least amount of side effects with me.
Right.
And the one thing that I noticed immediately when I was put on it is that I was able to kind of slow down and mellow out. Which a lot of people, you'll notice, like an amphetamine should by all rights jack me up beyond belief, make me really jittery, really, really hyper. But on me, it's like I can take a dose of Adderall and I get tired and want to take a nap. It literally makes me tired and mellow. But that helps me out a lot coping with life, because when things get really, really hot and there's a ton of things going on and I get really, really confused and stressed, it helps me slow down enough that I can kind of start compartmentalizing a little bit and getting those things done.
Absolutely. Yeah, they call it in the brain. They call it that's the. I totally nerd out about brain stuff, so forgive me, those of you who are listening to the show or watching.
One myself.
It's that's called executive function, and it's the ability to prioritize what's really important. And in an ADD brain, absolutely, with something that's an amphetamine, it seems to have the reverse effect. Actually, there's a kid who lives up the street who everybody in my house was like, this kid totally has ADD, and he was drinking caffeinated drinks all the time. And that's because
it would have been like crazier.
Right, and the caffeine, right, with a regular kid, it would have made him off the wall. But for him, it was almost like it's how he coped. Like he figured out, I feel different when I drink in the caffeine.
I drank 12 cups of coffee a day when I worked at Microsoft. Religious.
Oh my gosh, man!
I counted them out because it was like the 13th cup, and I'd start like feeling a kidney stone forming. So it was like 12 was my limit every day, and I would hit my limit. Literally, I would drink a cup in the morning before I went to work. When I got to work, I'd hit the machine, and I hit the machine like literally every hour, sometimes twice an hour, all day long. Even during lunch, I'd be drinking coffee.
Wow.
And the reason I did that is because it allowed me to stay mellow and allowed me to stay focused. And the doctor even said that when I first went into a therapist to get the diagnosis, I didn't specifically go in to get an ADHD diagnosis. I went because I was having problems with depression and everything. My doctor was like, you know what, just go talk to a therapist. Let them figure out where we should start.
Right.
And when I went to them, I was diagnosed with depression, mild OCD, and ADHD were the 3 things that they identified. And so they wanted me on ADHD meds, and Lexapro was the first thing that we started with. And they started them at the same time, which I thought was a really bad idea because I couldn't tell which was causing the problems. And if you've ever taken antidepressants before, they take forever to get out of your system. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like
some of them do. I call it the withdrawal symptoms, but some of them take a really long time. Now
it's 3 months to get back to normal. Coming off eight months of Lexapro, it took me 3 months to get back to where I felt normal again.
Right. So I want to pull away for just a second because I don't want Brandon to be falling asleep.
No. It's really interesting hearing you guys talk about it, because I don't struggle with I don't struggle with ADHD. I don't struggle with depression, and coming from the point of view where, because my mom has always worked with kids. She's a school teacher, so she works with kids that have ADHD, depression, and she loves them to death, but it's never something that I've struggled with. So hearing you guys talk about it and understanding, you guys have to take medication and different things to just get through the day is really, it's pretty amazing. It makes me feel very blessed that I don't have to do that.
Sure.
But at the same time, I can't even imagine having to cope with that. So go for it, Josh. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that I think what happened for me, it was really interesting because I went for a long period of time after college, because your brain changes over time. There's no doubt about it. And so I went out when I graduated high school, I went to college, and I stopped taking ADD medication. And it worked fine for a long period of time. And at the time, the science, the thinking behind it was you kind of outgrew it. You took amphetamines for a certain period of time, your brain learned how to connect the synapses and all that other stuff, and everything was fine. The reality is that the brain does change. You develop different coping mechanisms. You develop different ways of, adjusting your behavior. I got to a point. Actually, it was really funny. We went to this. It was a class to helping kids with ADD. And as we're talking about it, I'm sitting there in class. We're there for my son, but as they're describing the different symptoms and stuff of ADD, I'm like, oh, crap. I still have ADD, and that's what they say now. Is once you're diagnosed, you've always had it. If you've been diagnosed once, it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And for some,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, for some people, there are coping mechanisms that work great. It's very mild, and so they need to make sure that they write stuff down, put stuff on a calendar, set up reminders, and that's kind of all they need. They have a smartphone, and that helps them to manage life well enough. For other people, that's great. But for me, I put everything in my phone, but if I'm not on medication, I wouldn't remember to use my phone for that thing. It's when the tools stop. There are some tools it's not working anymore, and that's the point that I got to. I was like, well, maybe some of the issues that I've had in some of my jobs are related to the fact that I can't focus and prioritize stuff. Jerry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that the ADHD, the reason I needed to go on medication was because my life circumstances changed to where the ADHD was no longer a strength. It was becoming a weakness.
Right. Absolutely.
Realize that ADHD can actually be a huge strength. I mean, it's a personality trait, that you come down to it. And like you said earlier, if you're interested in something, you can hyper focus on it.
Right.
To an extreme. Like I was a software developer for many years at Microsoft, and one of the biggest things that I would do is I would show up in the morning, I'd sit down in front of a computer, I'd open Visual Studio, and 14 hours later, I'd finally get up to go take a piss. It's like,
wow.
And I'd have 2 weeks worth of work done in one day.
Right.
And it was because I would just shut everything out, and I was so interested in that one thing of what I was doing, I was unstoppable. But then the problem was, after I got married, and then on top of that had a kid, and then my kid had all kinds of needs with autism and everything like that. It started diverting my attention so much that I can never be hyper-focused again. And because I couldn't attain that hyper-focus, I couldn't do anything.
Right.
I was worthless. So at that point, the drug was helping me to overcome that by almost taking away one thing and giving me another.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a lot of people look at it and they're like, I have to take ADHD meds all the time. And there's some people that do. That's to that extreme. I only take the Adderall when I need it.
Interesting.
And that's one of the things I like about the Adderalls. It doesn't build in your system cumulatively, being a pure amphetamine. It's literally like drinking a cup of coffee. You take it, it lasts 3 or 4 hours, and then it's gone. And so that's one of the things I like about it is I don't have to take it every day. I do try to take it in the morning because when I wake up, I'm really, really foggy. Like my brain just does not want to boot for hours. And I don't want to drink tons of coffee because I have gout, that I'm trying to, actually it's gone down quite a bit since I've lost 30 pounds.
And great job on that, by the way.
Thank you. But the gout became a problem, so I couldn't have as much caffeine. So then the Adderall kind of became the caffeine replacement. But they're very interchangeable. A lot of people don't realize that caffeine is a stimulant, just like an amphetamine. And if you have enough of it, it will have an amphetamine-like effect. Right. So if you drink, a sugar-free Red Bull, now I know energy drinks aren't good for you and stuff, but if you think you have ADHD and you're kind of jittery and you're unnerved and you can't focus, go drink a can of sugar-free Red Bull. One of two things is going to happen. In a half an hour, you're either going to be very, very hyper-focused, calm, or you're going to be bad shit bouncing off the walls.
Right.
If it's the latter, you don't have ADHD.
Right.
If you feel like suddenly you want to sit down and read a book, then you might want to actually go talk to a doctor. But the truth is, you don't need an amphetamine to treat ADHD. People self-medicate all the time using other stimulants like like caffeine, even in its pure form. Some people have done that because you can actually buy caffeine powder and add it to things.
Right.
Just like anything else, so you have to be careful because caffeine, you can have too much of it.
Right.
And being a diuretic, it can dry you out, which leads to other medical problems and blood pressure related things. So everything in moderation. And
I think the key is I'm not a big fan of self-medicating for anything. I think that the key in that is to make sure you're doing it with some kind of doctor involvement. Kids who are hyperactive, I think sometimes we go, "Oh, the kid's hyperactive; he's got ADD." That's
Yeah,
not
my
that's
doctor
not true.
pulls out his app and looks up WebMD. So I was like, yeah, I'm just cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
No. I mean, in all seriousness, you should have a doctor involved, but realize that caffeine is something that's available over the counter. It's not a controlled substance,
Right.
even though some people like it to be. It's not a controlled substance, so it's deemed safe enough.
Right.
But again, it's like definitely if you change anything in your diet or you attempt anything, monitor your blood pressure closely. That's the biggest indicator that if anything goes wrong in your body, usually it shows in some form of blood pressure or resting heart rate whenever you're dealing with any kind of stimulant. Like Adderall, for instance, raises my resting heartbeat by about 11 beats per minute, and it raises my body temperature by about 1 degree. So I'm always running at 97, 98, or was it 99?
Right.
I sit at 99 degrees when I'm on Adderall, and then as soon as it leaves my system, temperature starts to come down, just because my heart's working harder, my whole body is being accelerated.
Yes.
And, but the thing is in my case it helps me a lot. But have you ever seen somebody that's actually taken meth before? Unfortunately, I grew up in an area where everybody meth all the time. They're very, very jittery people. They're always licking their teeth and grinding their teeth and licking their lips.
Right.
They're very, very paranoid and very jumpy. And if you gave somebody Adderall that didn't have the tolerance for it,
Right.
same exact thing would happen. They would just get really, really paranoid, really, really nervous. And I don't have that effect. It's just the opposite. Like I said, it actually calms me and makes me want to go lay down and take a nap. I've actually not taken it before just because I was afraid that it was gonna make me tired and I wouldn't be able to get something done. So yeah, no, the ADHD meds I definitely recommend if you feel like you're scatterbrained. Now the thing is, a lot of people get ADHD confused with a lot of other things. If you're deprived of sleep, you don't need amphetamines. And amphetamines will cause you massive more problems than it'll solve.
Right.
This isn't to treat being tired. If you sleep like crap and you don't ever get sleep, and that's what a lot of college kids do when they abuse drugs like Adderall and stuff, is they're doing it to replace sleep. And all that's doing is ultimately just running your system into the ground. And so that's not when you want to use it. When you want to use it is when you are well rested and you are in good health, but you still can't focus. Everything says your diet is good, you're getting the vitamin and minerals you need, but you're still just really haywire. That's when it's a good time to go work with a doctor and figure out if you need it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Everybody that says ADHD isn't real. Okay. So apparently the guy that came up with the original diagnosis for ADHD, apparently on his deathbed, he said that, he made the whole thing up for money or whatever. But regardless of what the ADHD meant to him, I can tell you night and day, knowing both kids and even kids in the autism spectrum, that there is a definite difference between somebody who has a calm mind and somebody who has a very, very antsy and radical mind. It's all over the place. And whether you want to call it ADHD or anything like that, the amphetamine basically, because the way that they describe it is your brain is basically suffering from a lack of power, if you will. That's where ADHD comes from, is you become manic, you become frustrated because your brain is actually running at a lower efficiency than it should. So when you introduce the Adderall, it brings it up to a normal functional level, or any amphetamine or caffeine, it brings it to a normal functional level, and it makes you look like you're calming down. But in reality, you're not calming down. You're actually just getting a boost up to a level where your brain can make sense of things.
Right. And it's one of the things that I don't like. I think that the fact that disorder is in the title is a misnomer, because I don't think people who have ADHD or ADD it's not a problem. It's not a deficiency in the way that they are. It's honestly, if you take a group of kids out, and I've worked with teens in different youth groups and stuff. You take a group of kids out, some who have ADD and some who don't. The ADD kids will notice stuff that nobody else notices.
Oh yeah,
in a very good way, and it's awesome. And that is, like you said, Jerry, it can be a very good thing. It can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse. It can be really
you need to identify the situations, and that's what I do. I identify the situations where it's a strength and a weakness, and that's where the drug helps me balance out those scenarios. Because normally, what I have to have for my ADHD to be functional, I need to have no distractions. So that's impossible to do when you have a son and a wife. and a boss other than Bruce, my manager at Microsoft for 15 years. Every other manager that tried to take me under their wing was freaking out. Because Bruce, my manager, he knew how to run me. He knew that if he just locked me in a room with a problem that nobody else could solve, that I would kill myself until that problem was solved. and enjoy myself doing it.
Right.
Now, I did struggle when I was taking the ADHD meds daily. I would go to work and find that I wasn't nearly as creative.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing I noticed is a lot of people that abuse the drug. They take amphetamines and stuff because it boosts their creativity. And it has the opposite effect on me. When I take it, it takes that edge off. I'm able to think things through slower and more methodically, but I lose that edge. That's that knee-jerk reaction that just comes up with ideas that nobody else does.
Right.
And there's times where I really, really want that. So on days when I'm shooting YouTube videos, usually I would say that maybe 10% of the time in my YouTube videos, I'm actually taking my ADHD meds. Most of the time, I purposefully skip it because when I'm making a video, I want to be kind of manic. I want to be kind of hyperactive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It works well. It works well for the video. It makes it more entertaining, and I'm more entertained making the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is when I'm editing, once I've shot the video, then I generally go take my ADHD medication. Because when I'm sitting down and I have 100 video clips sitting in front of me and I have to go through each one of them and line them up methodically in a timeline, I can't do that so well unless I'm focused.
Right.
Yeah.
So I use it to play to my advantage. But it's the same thing with coffee, right? When people drink coffee, what do? They wake up, they're tired, they go drink a cup of coffee. They're feeling good. When they start to feel like they're coming down, what do? Go get some more coffee. It's the same kind of thing. If you want to go to sleep at night, do you go get a cup of coffee? No. Well, apparently some people do, I've heard, but no, I don't go get coffee right before I go to sleep. But it doesn't really matter because caffeine usually doesn't. I've drinking so much coffee and so many energy drinks and stuff throughout my life that caffeine has a very minimal effect on me anymore.
Yeah.
So I know that and I'm looking at some of the stuff that people are talking about on the chat. I know that we're definitely in terms of what we talked about Overwatch, and that's what we're all about. And I know that we're off the beaten path for what that's
Squirrel.
Well, I know that that's what the show is all about normally, but I think it applies in the sense that I know a lot of gamers. That's who my friends mostly are. Yeah. But I also know a lot of gamers have ADD or ADHD and have a hard time focusing, and some people have used it as a way of escaping other things, and they've hyper focused on that thing. And I think that people who have ADD or ADHD, when it comes to gaming, can very easily lose the priority of what's really important. Right?
Yeah.
And I admit that when I come home and I'm done with the day, there's a lot of things that I don't want to do around the house, and yes, I ignore things from
Yeah.
And it's,
I think everybody does. Yeah.
Right, and I try not to, but I think it's important that as much as I love games and I want to push people to play Overwatch because I think it's awesome, and I want there to be more people out there, I think it's also important to realize that sometimes it's unhealthy to be that focused on stuff.
Yeah.
So, and since Joey and I have that common background, that's why I wanted to bring it up. Sorry, Brandon, what were you going to say?
No, it's like today. I got home. I had gone to work this morning, got home a little early, and I was like, I should really just go clean out my truck. I could sit down on the computer and I could play a couple games of Overwatch, or I could go clean out my truck. So
Right.
What did I do? I came and played a couple games of Overwatch.
Right.
I was like,
but did you play just a couple and then go clean out your truck?
well, I played a couple, then I laid down. And I was like, maybe I should go do my truck. And I was like, I'll play one more game of Overwatch. But then I went and did my truck.
Right.
And not only it for me at least, like I was telling you a few weeks ago, Josh. For me, I'm a perfectionist, right? Like, whatever I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
Right.
But something that I might not be as competent about or know as much about, I'm very less likely to go after it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way my brain works, right? My mom was telling me a few weeks ago, Brandon, when we tested you for AES, which is it's like a advanced placement, basically a lot of ADHD, 88. Gosh, I can't say it. It's gifted students, right?
Right.
So my mom, she works with autistic kids. She works with kids with ADHD. That's what she does. And so when I was younger, they had me tested, and my mom goes, "Brandon, you're a completely average, normal kid, except for one thing. You're you have a hard time committing to stuff, right?" And so that's my struggle. Is I come home and I go, okay, I want to get this, this, and this, and this done. And then really I just want to go play Overwatch
Right.
or sit down and go to so
Yeah.
so making I'll notice a lot of the times at the end of the day, if I sit down and I go, okay, man, you went to work, you cooked yourself dinner, which can be rare sometimes when you're a college student, and you got what you needed to get done. Now you can sit down and play a game of Overwatch, and I'll notice a huge increase just to how I'm playing the game. I'm much better at it. I'm not worried about what time it is because I'm not worried about anything else for that day. Right? It's relaxing at that point.
Right.
If I don't have everything that I needed to have done, then I'm not relaxed. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, why am I missing everything? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
geez, I have to go do this. So I've noticed that if I get my stuff done and then I sit down and play games for a while, I just have it. The experience is so much better. So, but you were trying to relate it back to ADHD, and so how does it affect your time in games? Do you I don't know. I guess go off of that, Josh.
Well, I know that for me, and Jay, I don't know if this is true for you too. I can tell once my meds have kicked in, because I'll take it when I'm just getting a big yes. I'll take it in the morning before I leave the house, and by the time, because I take the commuter train into Seattle, so there's a certain point on the train when I can tell you that the meds have kicked in because I get crazy inspired. I want to write. I get ideas. There's all this stuff that happens. So I can tell you as soon as it kicks in. Because I take it in the morning, and I take it every morning. If I play Overwatch, for example, on Saturday, and I play in the morning time, I'm probably more likely to do better, because that's essentially I'm already a morning person, but then I've also got, my brain is functioning the way kind of it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But because I'm such a morning person, I start tapering off as the day goes on. So the later we play on Friday nights, you'll probably notice that I suck more and more the later we play, because I'm tired, and the meds probably worn off and everything else at that point.
For me, for me with the ADHD meds and gaming, I find honestly when I take the ADHD meds, I don't really want to game that much.
Really?
I find that when I actually take the medication, that I want to actually go and do things like wash my cars. I want to go there and write code. I want to actually shoot videos, which is funny because I want to shoot the video,
right?
But the quality of the video ends up not being as good as when I'm passionate about it without the medication,
right?
Because the craziness that it brings to the table.
You almost wish that you could split.
Exactly.
For those moments, could I just split, and ADD brain, you do this thing, and medicated brain, you do this thing.
Well, the most common problem people probably see if you follow my channel is that my content is very sporadic. Sometimes I'll release 2 videos a week. Sometimes I'll release 1 video every 2 weeks. There's no set schedule, and I've tried to enforce a schedule on many occasions. But here's the problem that you run into is, when I'm not on meds, I can only get into things if I am hugely interested in them.
Right.
Like, they have to be all encompassing. I don't want to do anything else but that one thing. There's no doing 5 things. It's just that one thing.
Right.
But then I don't function well in other aspects of my life. And most of the time it's not make a YouTube video. It's go sit in bed and play GTA 5, which I did for like 5 days straight once when I was kind of going through a depressive episode. I stopped taking my meds. And I didn't take any for like a week, and all I did was just sit in bed and play GTA 5. I wasn't even playing like multiplayer online. I was just going through the campaign all over again from scratch.
Right.
Yeah.
And it held my attention wonderfully. I literally played from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. My wife was even like looking at me like, oh my God, when is this going to end? Because of course, Xander can't be around when I'm playing a game like that. So he wasn't around me much those couple of days. But then as soon as I forced myself to start taking my medication again, I immediately got back to work. But my biggest problem is once the medication wears off, I don't want to take more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I almost have to have like a timer go off or something, or my wife shoving it down my throat so that I'll take the meds. Because as soon as it wears off, all of a sudden I feel like I don't want to take it.
Interesting.
But I know if I take it, I'll be better off.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow.
it's a constant.
So it's a constant pull that, hey, I'm feeling good. No, I don't want to take it. And then, but I know it's good. That's crazy. I can't even imagine trying to deal with that.
For me, it's
depressed and you don't want to take it. Like, you almost hit a depressive wall when it wears off, and then you're like, I don't want to take it. I don't think it'll help, even though you know damn well it will.
Are you talking about antidepressant medication or ADD?
No, about the ADD, because this is the funny thing is the ADD medication can help combat some of the depression that you have. It can also help to amplify it, though. So I don't want to say the ADHD. Amphetamines aren't a cure-all. It's just case, a lot of my depression comes from me being frustrated with myself to be able to do anything. I get overwhelmed and I shut down.
Yep, exactly.
And the ADHD meds help you know that overwhelming feeling, especially in your current life situation.
Mm-hmm.
Things going on with your wife, something's going on with the kids, the car battery dies or something, and you immediately just seize up.
Right.
You're like, life is officially throwing too much crap at me. Instead of me picking one thing and slowly, systematically fixing everything, I'm just going to say the world's doomed and sit in my corner and rock back and forth.
Right.
And that's what happens. And I find that when I take my meds, that happens far less.
Yeah.
Like when I take my meds, I'm like, okay, I'm still pissed when stuff happens. I mean, that's a perfectly normal adult human reaction to be pissed off when all these life-changing things happen. But what is normal is to completely shut down and feel powerless to do anything about anything. That's not a good feeling. Like if you're hitting that point, you've completely overwhelmed yourself to the point of shutdown. And there are life events that should cause that legitimately.
Sure.
But it shouldn't be like the garbage bag tore out on the bottom.
Right.
Which happened. I mean, I've had days where I was so riding close to the edge. I would just be walking through I'd be taking the garbage out and like the bag would rip, and I would just drop the bag and I would just walk and keep on walking. Like literally come back like 2 hours later, no shoes on, barefoot, walking down the street at like 10 o'clock at night. And I just snap. And then it's like, it always comes back to the same thing. It's like, you know what? I didn't take my meds today.
Right.
I've been on edge the whole day. This is not a good combination.
Right. Now, for me, there's not a day where I don't want to take it because I notice such a marked difference in my ability to function. And that just goes to show you that, there's different medications for different people. Brain chemistry is different per person. Some things are going to work better for people than other things. Some people's reaction is different. So it's this huge. There's no one. I think, and I don't know if the research is current on this, but there's like 9 different. It's like the Overwatch hero roster of ADD diagnoses. It's like there's all these different things.
Well, that's too. It's the most overdiagnosed thing like on earth. Like doctors, a lot of doctors misdiagnose it all the time. If your kid's hyperactive because he's overstimulated, he doesn't have ADHD. He's overstimulated.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're feeding him a pound of sugar every day and he's outside playing, cowboys and Indians with his friends all day, of course he's going to be hyper and he's going to be, ripped up.
Right.
The difference is if he's sitting down to like do his homework and he can't figure out even the most common of things, and he appears like he's really tired after he just slept 8 hours and he's always foggy and he's always cranky, then there might be a problem.
Right.
But parents have kind of turned to the ADHD thing as kind of an excuse. And I think that's why it gets so beat up in the media and everything, is because it's so heavily diagnosed. And then that kind of screws the people where it's clear that they need the help.
Yeah. You guys were talking about depression, and I've only really had one really case of it where I knew, like, okay. And it wasn't even me that told because here, I'll just tell the story. So a couple years ago, I graduated high school, and high school, I didn't love school. I was good at school. I got my stuff done. But I hated going every day. It's like, so anyways, I had enough credits to graduate at Christmas, and so I went ahead and I graduated at Christmas, and to keep the scholarship that I had to start college right after Christmas break. And another huge thing happened in my life. If that wasn't enough, graduating high school, I ended up moving out. And so I moved out, and moving out is really cool. You get to get away from your parents. You get to go eat it whatever you want. You get to go to bed when you want. You get to play as much video games as you want. And then the dishes start piling up.
Right, until the bills start coming in.
The cat doesn't have any food. You need to clean out the cat box. And I got to the point where I almost became like a recluse. It's just like I'd go to work and I'd come home, or I'd go to work, I'd go to school, and I'd come home, and I wasn't doing that well in school. I wasn't doing very well. I didn't like playing games. Like I would get home and that's like the only thing I had to do, so that's what I would do, right? I'd play video games, and it got to a point where my dad finally came over one day, and I was like, and another thing is I slept like a ton, right? That's like all I did was I played video games, I went to sleep, got up, went to work, went to school. That was my life.
That's a very common depression trait too, is sleeping. Like
Yes.
when I'm in a depressive episode, I'll sleep 12 to 14 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
even after I wake up, like I never rested.
Yeah, and I got to the point where I could just fall asleep wherever.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and that was just, it was not me. Like I had never been like that.
Right.
And luckily my dad came over and he's like, dude, what's going on? And I was like, he's like, I don't know what's going on in your life right now. I know you've had some stuff change, and I just want to let you know, we're here. You live not very far. Come over for dinner. I had stopped going over to my parents' house, who lived a mile down the road from me, for dinner.
It's free meal, dude.
It's free meal, right?
That's right.
And I was going 2, 3, 4 weeks without even going and seeing my parents,
Oh,
right?
geez.
And that just it's not me. It's not me now. It's not my personality.
Mm-mm.
And getting to that point where my dad came over, he's like, dude, you gotta fix something. Something's, you need help. You want to come back and live at the house. And I was like, gosh, you're right, man. And so as a normal guy that ended up with depression, I'm pretty positive that's what that was. Nothing got to me, I was just like, I was sad not sad, just like, I was just playing video games just to play them.
Right.
I wasn't trying to be good. I wasn't trying to do anything. But to have somebody come and pick you up by the collar and go, hey, dude, come on. That was enough to get me out of it and go, okay. I got to get back, go. And you guys were talking about how the medication kind of picks you up. For me, actually like working and going and doing the card this afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
and getting up and going and doing, hey, it drives me. It makes me want to do better. It makes me want to come home and make the podcast as well as I can.
Right.
It makes me want to do better in Overwatch. It makes me want to play games with my friends in WoW. It gives me, just getting up and going and doing stuff gives me that boost of energy, like okay, I'm doing stuff, I'm good.
Yep.
And so that was only my only really small case with depression, and I'm so glad, gosh, man, it just, once you're out of it, it feels so good. Right. So I can't even imagine having to take medicine just not to have it happen to me. So
Yeah. Well, hey,
I have huge highs and very, very low lows.
right.
mm-hmm.
I don't run in the middle ever. I'm either incredibly happy and really excited about something, or I'm just like completely defeated and want to take a nap. Like there's no in between. What were you saying, Josh?
I was going to say it's almost 9:40, and you've got to take a trip, Jerry. We said we were going to respect your time, and we've gone way over.
Oh man,
it's good. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I probably should get going because I still haven't even packed, and I got to wake up at 4 a.m.
Oh,
and I got the whole video and upload it to YouTube. I might not sleep tonight. I might just stay up and just roll through.
Well,
but yeah.
Thanks so much for being on the show. I do want to give you as much extra time, and I could talk about this stuff all day. And I appreciate everybody on the podcast. Those of you who have been listening and sticking with us this long on this topic. I hope it's been helpful. I know that it's not specifically about Overwatch, but I hope that it's been helpful. Even if it gives you 3 guys that you can listen to who can all appreciate, whether from personal experience or just from being sympathetic, people who have struggled with this, whatever it is. I hope that it's been a boost to you in some way. And those of you watching, I appreciate all the comments in chat. I know we said we're talking about Overwatch, and we're doing the Overwatch counseling couch, but it's
hey, that might be a good new segment.
There you go.
Everybody's been really respectful too over in the chat. Like, you should see the chat on my live streams. Holy cow!
Yeah, honestly, guys, this is the first time we've ever streamed the show, and to have this big of a turnout, thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
it's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys all so much for coming and listening to us.
For sure.
It's huge for us. It makes us it makes me at least very excited to keep doing the show and see where we can take it. So
Yeah.
This is the first show that I've used the Yamaha mixer board on and the new NT1 microphone by Rode.
And you got it set up in, I think it was 15 minutes, I think is what you...
Yeah, that was impressive.
Video. I shot the whole video of the unboxing, disconnecting the old one, and connecting the new one, and I'm up to the point where I'm testing it now in the video. I'm going to pick up right as soon as I get off with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Nice.
So yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, right on. It's so the show is obviously, for those of you who don't know, it's called Uberview. You can subscribe on all of your favorite places: RSS feed, iTunes, Google Play, and we have a website, Uberview Show, where we'll have all the show notes posted and links to everything you can imagine. Normally, when we do the closing, we talk about cool community stuff, but Jerry's with us, and he has some amazing pictures of stuff that he's done that is Overwatch related. From 3D printing, and so we're gonna link to all that stuff this week.
And it's super cool, guys.
Oh, it's
amazing. I mean, this helmet that we've been talking about, us talking about, doesn't give it justice. It is actually, it looks like straight out of the game, like Reinhardt took out off his helmet and put it on the table. It's amazing. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never thought it would turn out that good. I never thought in a million years it would have turned out as good as it did in such a short period of time. My mind is blown. So go check out Bill Duran, punishedprops.com. Him and his wife Brittany make the most amazing cosplays you've ever seen, and they do video series on how to do it yourself. So it's not magic what they do. Anybody can do it. It just takes time and practice.
Yep, and you can follow Bill at on Twitter. It's at Chinbeard.
Chinbeard.
Yes. And so let's talk about where to find us on social media. Jerry, you're all over the place, everywhere. You want to throw out your...
I am at Barnacules everywhere. The easiest way to find all my social media, though, is just put the social media platform .barnerd.com. So twitter.barnerd.com, Instagram barnerd.com, Facebook barnerd.com, blog.barnerd.com, shop.barnerd.com, and barnerd.com YouTube channel.
Nice.
Cool.
Very, very cool. And Brandon, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at UmphyOW. My YouTube channel is where I post some stuff about Overwatch every once in a while, or World of Warcraft, depending on whatever I'm playing that week. And that's youtube.com/UmphyOverwatcher. And you can find me here on Wednesday nights with Josh recording a podcast about Overwatch. Now that we got it streaming, so follow the stream, and if you'd like to come watch on Wednesdays, we'd love to have you. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are awesome, and thanks for having me.
Hey, you are welcome. So for me, you can find me on Twitter, Voice of the Big JB. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheBigJB. Most of my stuff is stream of consciousness, whatever I'm thinking about, but I do post some plays of the game and stuff every once in a while. It's been a while, though. Hey. Yeah, baby. And all of these are linked on our homepage. Let's see, the best rating to get read out on the show this week, because we're going to do this every week. It says, "My dad is awesome. I love watching him play Overwatch." And that's from my youngest.
That's so nice.
It's like we're playing StarCraft all of a sudden.
So, Josh, me and you were talking earlier before the show. So our next episode will be our 10th episode.
That's right.
Which is the 10th week that we've been doing this, and we've committed each week. You know, I've missed 1 week, but I put my voice in the show. So next week is going to be our 10th episode. And Josh, why don't you tell them what we're doing?
So for our 10th,
Josh, why don't you tell them?
Yeah. I don't know if it's supposed to be sexy or demonic. I can't decide.
I can't tell either, but man, that's
I think it's a little bit of both.
If we go to the other end of the spectrum. How you boys doing, huh?
That's hilarious.
Sorry, I was just nailing this whole ship. My bad.
it's we expected
I love it, man.
this. We expected it. So for our 10th episode, we have a couple really special guests who are going to be on. Scott Kurtz from PvP and Steve Hamaker, who is the colorist in the Bone comics. If you've seen the Scholastic Bone comic books or graphic novels, he's an amazing colorist, but he does his own work called Plocks. He also does Table Titans that he did with Scott Kurtz. So these guys are friends of mine, and they're fantastic, and they're huge Blizzard fans, huge gaming guys. So they're going to be on the show. And what we're going to do for our giveaway is we're going to give away a T-shirt, a free Overwatch T-shirt, and we are also going to give away some Blizzard bucks. So that's going to be our giveaways next week. So tune in, and the person who's going to win that is whoever gives us the best comments on the iTunes store. We will pick our favorites. So hop on there, give us a rating. 5 stars are always appreciated. Not required.
So it's gonna win it. It's all mine, guys. This will never be normal again. This is what we're gonna do from now on.
There you go. Say bat knife.
No, bat knife. Bat knife. I hear it's always under my desk.
Oh, you got the bat knife right there.
Dude, look at this. I'll put it right there in front of the camera. Look at that. That's official bat knife.
It's sexy.
And so whoever gets picked out of it'll probably be a random chance. Whoever leaves the 5-star review on iTunes, we will be getting in touch with you to get you whatever shirt off the Blizzard store you'd like. Within means. I don't think there's any shirts that are over like $30 or whatever.
Right.
But that, and we'll give you some Blizz bucks, and are those 2 separate prizes, Josh?
We'll decide later.
Is it one big?
I think it should be
prize?
one big prize.
All right, one big prize. So
One prize, baby.
so
Yeah, there's so many jokes. It's way too easy.
I'm just gonna leave this on forever. I'm gonna just do a podcast with this voice.
I love it. I'm so jealous. I got to get one of those.
Oh man.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
thanks everybody for tuning in. Jerry, thanks again for being here, man. It was a treat.
Yes,
Always
hey,
a pleasure.
Jerry. It was. I just recently heard about you and started watching your videos, and you've quickly become one of my favorite YouTubers. So, I thank you so much and for giving us the opportunity to talk to you and hear some of you guys' experience and yeah, thanks so much.
You're awesome, Brandon. And I'll tell you what, when I get to 1 million subs, I'll turn into an asshole like every other YouTuber. But as long as I'm just going to be a normal guy.
You're not too far off either. You're almost there.
Here, I'm gonna put it back to the non-threatening voice. Apparently, I can set it in
Between two,
Like right there.
there is. See, is that better?
Oh, wow.
Starting to sound like Men in Black now. We're all over the place.
I'm just going to leave it like this, though, because it just sounds like you're going to have nightmares now. All right, let's wrap this up. I got to go to
All right.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to go to
get
bed,
up
man.
early.
All I was going to say was safe travels, and you started fiddling around with your knobs. Oh, wait. Can we say that?
I'm going to turn the compressor way up, too, so I can, like, come way over here. Hey, how's it going, guys?
That's amazing.
It's not
Anyway,
weird. I
yeah.
can get across the room, and they can get right up on it and be like, hey, what's going on, guys? All right,
Oh man.
Thanks for watching. Uberview.
Thanks, everybody. Uberview.com. Oh, UberviewShow.com is what I meant to say. And say bye. Everybody say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye guys. Thanks so much for watching.
That's much better.
Oh, there you are. See you later. Bye.
Yeah, see you. Bye. Do we need another clap?
We need Hercules.
Dude, that voice is so creepy. That's my new favorite filter ever.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that thing is sweet. What you can
I'll be
do.
like, hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, I am shutting the stream down. Bye, everybody.
I'm gonna turn off the recording.